I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Heads up to all the Michael Krizo fans out there. You might not want to get your hopes up for any sort of early season action because according to the latest reports from his camp, it's looking more and more like we might not see him back on stage until sometime close to September. Now, on one hand, waiting until later in the year makes a lot of sense on paper because it gives him some more time to focus on doing what he needs to make improvements. But on the flip side, waiting until a few weeks before the Mr. Olympia competition to attempt to secure his qualification could be risky business, because it only leaves him with a handful of opportunities if things don't go according to plan right out of the gate. Now, with that said, he did the same thing last year when he was trying to earn his pro card and get his qualifications squared away. So if he follows that blueprint, playing the long game might end up being the best thing for him in the end. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did a story on Johnny Jackson shortly after his announcement about competing in the Masters Olympia later this year. Depending on who you want to believe, it's starting to seem like he might have some company from an old friend, because there are some rumors circulating around that Dexter Jackson might be considering dusting off the old trunks again to give it one more go. Now, just so we're clear, to the best of our knowledge, Dexter hasn't said anything one way or another about jumping into this show, which means all the reports out there are 100% based on speculation. However, if you've been following Dexter on social media, you can't help but notice that he does look like he's added some more size in recent weeks, which may or may not be a sign of him testing the waters to see how his body is responding. Because if he can tap into being even 80% of what he was a few years ago, even that might be enough to add some more hardware to his trophy case, depending on how things shake out. I'll tell you what, the more time you spend around high performers, regardless of whether or not they're bodybuilders, the more you start to realize that they're perpetually dissatisfied with wherever they are, which is in part why they're so successful. Because that drive to go never shuts off. But I guess as we've seen time and time again at this point, Derek Lunsford is the exception to just about every rule. So it shouldn't come as any surprise that he's feeling good about where he is with his post-Olympia progress right now. And if we're being honest with ourselves, it would be kind of hard not to be happy with your progress if you're Derek, right? I mean, the stuff that he's done over the last 8 weeks or so is out of control. And when you're growing like this and still staying this close to contest shape, it's pretty much every physique athlete's dream scenario. And if he keeps cruising along like this, you'd imagine that he'll have a lot more to be happy about come November, because he's going to make the first call out very interesting. Now, here's the thing. Even if Derek shows up as happy as he can be with whatever his 2023 look ends up being, that happiness might be short-lived if he runs headfirst into this Chupin train, because Hottie looks like he's moving like a freight train right now in his own right. To be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure what the off-season strategy is for Hottie at this point, and I'm not entirely sure it even matters because he's the defending champion. And if he's better this year than he was last year, history tells us that's usually good enough in the eyes of the judges for someone to retain their title. And considering all the ups and downs that he's dealt with over the last few years to get here, I'm guessing that he won't be in a big hurry to just step aside and hand off the Sandow Trophy to Derek without doing everything in his power to keep it. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.